Welcome to Module 12, Lesson 4. In this lesson, our I can statement is, I can use decimal models, number lines, and place value charts to compare decimals. I can use less than, greater than, and equal to write decimal comparisons. So in this lesson, we're going to be taking everything we've been working on with decimals and fractions into decimals, and now using that information to help us compare decimals. All right, let's look at our first question. Jacob is going to the market. He wants to walk the route that is the shorter distance. Which of the two routes should Jacob take? Red or orange? All right, we need to shade the hundredths model for each decimal distance. Go ahead and pause the video and shade the two models now. All right, so you should have your model shaded with 74 hundredths and 8/10. Okay, remember each column is worth 1/10. So which of these is greater? 8/10 or 74 kilometers? And if you're still feeling stuck, right, we can think about 8/10 in our model. Be 0 ones, 8/10, and 0 hundredths. So this could also look like 80 hundredths of a kilometer. So 8/10 is greater. So if Jacob wants to walk the route that is the shorter distance, then he should take the red route, because 74 hundredths of a kilometer is shorter than 8/10 of a kilometer. It now asks us to use a number line to check our answer. Find 74 hundredths and 8/10 on a number line. So here's 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5, 6, 7/10. I'm going to mark it. So then the next one would be 8/10. All right, so I know right away I found 8/10. So there's my 8/10 of a kilometer. And I know that 74 hundredths is 4 more than the 7/10. So I go 4 more over. And there's my 74 hundredths of a kilometer. How does our number line help support our answer? Well, what can we see? 8/10 is further, right? It's closer to 1 whole, so it's greater, meaning that 74 hundredths is shorter. Go ahead and pause the video and write your explanation. Number 2, Mia cuts 2 44 hundredths pounds of yellow watermelon and 2 41 hundredths pounds of red watermelon. Does Mia cut more yellow watermelon or red watermelon? Record the decimals in the place value chart. Okay, yellow is first. So she cuts 2 44 hundredths. And red, she cuts 2 41 hundredths. Now, just like when we compare place value in larger multi-digit numbers, we also compare place value the same with decimals. We start with the greatest place value. In this case, that is the ones place value. Very different than when we're starting in the hundred thousands. But it's still the same idea. We're going to compare the digits in each place value. So our ones place value, we both have 2 ones. So those are equal. They both have 4/10. Those are equal. But the yellow watermelon has 4 hundredths and the red watermelon only has 100. So 4 hundredths is greater than 100. Because 400ths is greater than 100th, 2 and 4400ths is greater than 2 and 4100ths. So now we need to answer the question. What does she cut more of? She cuts more yellow watermelon. All right, go ahead and pause the video and complete the check understanding. Press play when you're ready to check your work. All right, let's go ahead and check your work. You should have found that 3/10 was greater than 1800ths. I filled in my 3/10, remembering each tenth is equal to 10 hundredths, and my 1800ths. On my number line, I found 3/10, which was equal to 0.3 or 3/10, and 1/10. I went 8 more to get to my 1800ths, and it showed me that 3/10 was greater. And for our second problem, we found that 1 and 5500ths is greater than 1 and 5200ths. So we compared, our 1's place was equal, our 10's place was equal, but our 500ths is greater than our 200ths.